Carl, thanks so much for being here again. This is great fun talking to you about last night's show, given there was yet again another twist and the playback challenges and all that. So tell me, when you first heard about this in the morning after this silly Carlsbad joke that Robbie said, what were you thinking about this? What was your first impression when you heard somebody might be coming back?
Well, thanks again for having me. It was crazy. I think, initially my reaction was, okay, this is one of those twists that we never necessarily saw coming, but, I definitely don't like it, but it is going to be a reality, so I just have to, respond to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, when you thought about the four people that had been eliminated, it seems, according to some others, that Petey was considered the most challenging of the four, the one you didn't want to come back. Was that what was going through your head, or did you pick somebody else instead?
To be honest with you, no. I said early on when I went into the show that I would not focus on an individual opponent. I would rather focus on the course.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, if you demonstrate fear in golf,
mm-hmm.
that is one of the biggest hurdles that you will have in terms of being successful. You can respect somebody for their game. You can even get nervous when you're making shots or when you're up on a challenge. But the minute you start fearing your opponent is the minute you have lost. So for me, again, I did not like the fact that someone was getting a chance to come back, but I was never looking at it from the perspective of, I hope this person doesn't come back, because my goal was to, win regardless of who I'm going to be going up against.
Right. Well, actually, that's a good attitude. I think a few of the guys who were allowed to try again could have used some of that advice. Certainly watching the four of them out there was some real surprises. So tell me, you saw it for the first time last night. What was going through your head then, watching these guys battle it out?
Well, it's interesting because I had no clue of what we were going to see last night, except for what they didn't show, which is the end piece of what what would have happened in Petey's case. But it was a shocker for me when I saw what was happening. You had some guys who hit some good shots, you had some guys who hit some bad shots. Ultimately, Petey came out as the strongest player among the group because he lasted, all the way to the end. Again, golf is one of those, it's a marathon run. It's 4 legs. You have to be able to make it to the end in order to select the prize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, watching Robert take that putter, first of all, that was just a shocker. And then his whole game just sort of fell apart. He seemed to have a little fun with it. He was laughing and joking around, but he just wasn't himself. I couldn't understand it.
I think, and this is by no means me having any insight or anything, but I think what was going on there was a combination of the rust of not having played, mm-hmm. and then, to be honest with you, Gail, it's difficult for us to try and understand the pressure that he has mm-hmm. on him among all of us. I came in as an unknown player, a contestant, mm-hmm. and a lot of the other guys may have had some notoriety, but not that much. He came in as the son off, and, golf is so mental that, when you have that pressure of having to live up to, a dad who has great accomplishments,
mm-hmm.
That can weigh on your mind. And so it's kind of difficult for me to say it was a bad decision. I think he may have felt that if he had used a chip, he could have sculled it across the green, and so he felt best using the putter.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have used the putter because the one factor in that is that there was dew on the ground, and for you to calculate how much drag or how much the dew was going to affect the ball, plus the release that you would need,
mm-hmm.
it's too difficult for anybody to compute under normal situations, much less a challenge like this. So but I think he may have gone with what he felt best with. In terms of his other shots, like I said, I probably will put that to, just the pressure of the whole show. Some people deal with it differently. The rust, and then the expectancy of knowing that, hey, my dad might be watching this shot, and I hope I actually do hit a good shot. So
yeah,
that's where I put that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. The pressures must be incredible. Well, then we watch other things that have surprised me was Petey giving over that putt to Justin. But, again, you got people are shaking and a little nervous, and I'm just curious, what would you have done in that situation, even though you can't say for sure you weren't there, but watching it, what did your gut tell you?
It really depends. This is one of those it depends situations. If your putter is working and you have confidence in your putter, you never want to put your faith in somebody else's hands. But if you don't feel confident about your putter, and in this case, because it was reactionary, if you've seen where there's a level of nervousness in the other opponent, and they haven't been able to deliver as consistent, as before, that doesn't guarantee that they wouldn't, but, you have to strategize, and I think he did the best thing, having missed a putt from, pretty much a little bit more right, coming down, and the putt was kind of shaky. It seemed like a good decision to force the other person to make the putt. But I'm the type of person who, not on the same level as Russell, but I do like keeping faith in my own hands. And if I felt confident with the putter, I think I would have gone ahead and putted it myself. But ultimately, even though we have we know the results, he made a good decision.
Yeah, well, yeah, in hindsight, absolutely. Well,
right.
Watching Russell, it was a pleasure to watch Russell. I mean, we just saw him leave last week, but he came out, ready to fight it out, battle it out. I, watched it thinking he might have been taking on a little too much risk with that second shot to the water. Maybe he could have laid up and got it up and in for birdie. What were you thinking? Do you think he made the right decision there and hitting that second shot, trying going for the green?
You don't make that decision where you were. Personally for me, because the lie was not exactly the best, and the ball was below your foot, and you're hitting into a green that slopes directly towards you with water covering all the front, you don't do that shot. I don't take that shot. You hit a shot down there and leave yourself 80 yards in, and then you make a second shot and give yourself a chance of making the putt. In golf, there are going to be those who will take the greatest risks, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm a firm believer in strategizing and playing to your best advantage. I would never have taken that shot, to go for the green, because he wasn't dead. He wasn't dead. A birdie could have tied it up, and even though P was there, if Russell had hit a shot in there, that could have caused P to be a little shaky on his approach shot. So I would not have gone for that shot. I would have laid it up and used my wedge to get as close as possible, and then give myself a chance at a putt for a birdie.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree with you there. Well, Carl, this has been terrific. I just wanted to ask, is there something that you wanted to say about last night's show that I haven't asked you? Anything you want to close with today?
I can tell you that last week's show was an absolute, last night's show was an absolute twist. Never saw it coming. It gets eerily interesting next week. You definitely want to come back and tune in, and it's gonna be lots of fun.
Oh yeah, I know. I think everybody's going to be wondering what is Will going to do with that temper of his, but I guess we just wait and see.
Certainly.
Okay, thanks, Carl. We'll talk to you next week, I hope.
All right, thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.